Risk management. It's generally the fundamental element of every security program in any organization. That I think I do not need to explain why risk management is so important. However, there are many, how to say it correctly, issues, many doubts related to risk management in the mobile world. When we have mobile devices like smartphones, like tablets, when many applications are directly connected to the cloud, sometimes people responsible for security do not know that the application that is installed on the mobile device is using cloud, is sending the sometimes sensitive data to the cloud. And people responsible for security management very often do not know how to properly treat mobile devices from the security point of view. I remember at the time, it was 2-3 years ago, many, for example, security directors, especially in financial companies, decided not to use mobile devices for business. 2-3 years ago, it was possible. Nowadays, a lot of business is conducted using mobile applications, and business people do not see the possibility to cooperate with the partners without using mobile. So I will look at the risk management from the point of view of mobile devices. Oops, which one to use? That one? Oops. It is working or not? Ah, when it is switched on, it's better. This one. Oops. This way. Okay, some interesting statistics that if you are interested how popular are mobile devices, you can find in this report, Digital in 2017. And what's interesting for me is at the moment we have more mobile devices in the world than human beings. So it is a very, let's say, important element in our security ecosystem, because these devices very often are used in the organization business processes and so on. So come back to the risk management. At the beginning, it will be a bit academic presentation. What standard, what methodology we can use? I think that most of people will start from the ISO standard 27005. This standard is used, I think, in most of the organizations, because we need risk management, first of all, to properly select the safeguards. The company asks himself, or people responsible for security asks himself, do we need DLP, for example? Do we need the next generation firewall? Do we need database firewall? And the natural method to select the safeguard and to find the business justification for this is risk management. So we analyze the case, we analyze, for example, the business process or the IT systems supporting this business process, and we measure, we evaluate the risk, and then prioritize the risk, and then decide if the risk is acceptable or not acceptable. If not acceptable, we try to find the proper solution. We can reduce the risk using the safeguard, we can transfer the risk, we can avoid the risk, for example, destroying the IT system. Generally, in most cases, we try to reduce the risk. So, can we use this methodology for the mobile devices? Yes, generally, yes. We can look at confidentiality risks. We can look at availability risk, integrity risks. So generally, we can use it. What about personal data? What about privacy risks? So when you look at GDPR on this slide, you have presented 6 articles that are related to information technology safeguards. In GDPR, as you probably know, we have a lot of articles, 99, and only 6 of them are related to IT safeguards. And the beginning, the start of security, according to GDPR, is risk analysis. It's called privacy impact assessment, but it is risk analysis. Then we use the principles security by design, security by default, and we select appropriate safeguards based on the risks that were identified, the risks for privacy, for personally identifiable information. And can we use ISO 27005 approach in this case? In small part, yes, because in privacy, we have a lot of other risks, not only risks to confidentiality, integrity, and availability. On this slide, you have some examples of risks. For example, excessive collection of personal data, unauthorized or inappropriate linking of personal data, insufficient information concerning the purpose for processing of personal data, failure to consider the rights of the principal, the people related to this personal data, processing of personal data without the knowledge or consent of the principal, and so on. So we have many risks that should, according to GDPR, be taken into consideration that are not related to the CIA triad. CIA triad, I mean confidentiality, integrity, availability. What risk methodology or risk strategy we can use? There is a new standard, ISO 29134, very new because June this year the standard was issued, and it is dedicated for privacy impact assessment. It is security techniques, guidelines for privacy impact assessment. In this case, you conduct risk analysis, and if the mobile devices are used for the processing of personal data, I think that this one is proper methodology. It is beyond the CIA triad. It looks at many issues that are important for personal data. If you are working only with IT, like me, because generally I am IT guy, when first I looked at GDPR, I looked at these 99 articles, I was surprised that almost only 6 articles are related to IT generally. Most of them are looking at risks beyond information technology safeguards. So if we would like to be compliant with GDPR, and if our mobile devices, and I think in most cases they are used for processing personal data, we should consider extending our security strategy, risk management strategy for these issues presented in this particular ISO standard. You can buy this standard in the internet and look what are the specific recommendations for risk management. What is important, and it is presented on this slide, when we all attend the vendors' presentations, most of the vendors, I mean the security technology producers, present their solutions in the way that if you buy DLP from us, or if you buy something from us, the data encryption or other things, you will be compliant with GDPR. On this slide, you see that it is not the GDPR. GDPR states that first you need to conduct the risk management, and based on risk management, select appropriate safeguards. And the risk management for personal data starts from identification of business processes and IT systems processing personal data, not from selecting safeguards. First, identify where you have personal data. And if the personal data are processed on mobile devices, we should conduct the risk management for the mobile devices in our case. Okay, what is specific generally, technically, in risk management for mobile devices? First of all, we have huge attack surface. Attack surface means the ways that intruders could do some damage in our mobile devices. On this slide, you will see how many communication methods you have in mobile devices. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GSM, near-field communication used for finance services, global navigation, SIM cards. We had many incidents related to SIM cards. SD cards and even USB port in computer can be used to compromise mobile device. If, for example, the mobile device using USB is connected to the computer that is in the hands of cyber criminals. In mobile devices, like in normal servers or endpoints, we have operating system flaws. We have problems with Trojanized applications. We have problems with cloud that I will explain in more details further. Problems with security awareness of people, bring your own device, installing trusted applications on the private smartphones, on tablets, and so on. So attack surface is huge, and when we conduct risk management, we should be aware that we should treat mobile like the mobile really, I don't know how to say it, exist in the security system. We should not use one formula for everything, but look at mobile as something new, something that has new threats. Vulnerability management. It is possible, technically, to conduct vulnerability management for mobile devices. Many people responsible for security are not aware that we can conduct vulnerability scanning for mobile devices, and we are using not direct scanning like normally. We just run the scanner in the network and scan hosts, servers, network devices, and so on. For mobile devices, we need to look at the communication, active sync communication, for example, to Microsoft Exchange or communication to Office 365. And scanner can connect to Active Directory and analyze active sync for the information about application versions, operating system versions, and possible vulnerabilities or real vulnerabilities available in mobile devices. If you are interested in the area of vulnerability management, I will have a detailed presentation 2 p.m. in Hacking Track, Threat Exposure Management. I will tell you more about new approaches to vulnerability management. When we have thousands of vulnerabilities, we have new threats existing in cloud, threat existing in mobile devices, how to effectively conduct vulnerability management. So in the Hacking Track, you can hear about this. Mobile devices threats. There are some new threats that were almost not visible in the traditional world consisted of PC computers. Only some examples. How to protect Office 365 data from being stored in personal OneDrive. Everybody can ask this question. When I look at the region when my company, Clico, operates, we operate in most of the countries in Eastern Europe, in Central and Eastern Europe. I see that many customers are not aware, customers of us are not aware that the employees are using cloud for business. And first answer, if we ask, for example, conducting security audit, if we ask them, what cloud services are used in your enterprise? Nothing. Okay, so are you sure? Do your customers, do your employees are using Office 365? Of course, it is cloud. Second question, do your employees use Salesforce? What is Salesforce? Ask your business. Oh yes, they are using. There is very popular. This year, our business application was moved from the normal installed application to the Salesforce because it is very efficient. Okay, so when we conduct risk management for mobile devices, it's good to ask these questions. For example, how to provide secure access to Salesforce on bring your own devices. How to prevent access to Salesforce from unauthorized cloud applications like TACT. They can use API for the Salesforce, and unauthorized application can access the sensitive company data. How to prevent box cloud storage from being accessed on jailbroken devices when the native operating system safeguards were switched off by the user. In traditional risk management, the problems related to cloud applications were not visible. We could maybe not neglect, but we treat this kind of problems like very acceptable because the real problem was not effective for the business of the company. These kind of problems are huge. The risk is really high when we look at the employees using, in this case, Office 365, Salesforce. And these kind of applications are really very popular among business people. They install the application on mobile, and sometimes they are not aware that this application is not working only on this mobile device. This application is working in cloud, and the data is automatically transferred to the cloud and stored in the cloud. What recommendations we can use for security policy for safeguards? There are a lot of good recommendations, standards available even in internet. Some recognized security institutions like American NIST issued the documents, recommendations, for example, this one, guidelines for managing the security for mobile devices in the enterprise. And you can find a lot of very good recommendations that even directly you could use this recommendation in your company. But how to enforce this security policy? It is the problem. And security engineers and most of security analytics think that without enterprise mobility management solutions, so the central management, it is not possible to enforce security policy for mobiles. And Gartner predicts that very soon the companies will use one central management system for endpoints and for mobile devices. Nowadays it's two separate. In most cases it is two separate management systems. Let's look at the example. One of the leading companies in this market is MobileIron, and very quickly I will review what tools are available in MobileIron. Generally, they offer the MDM, mobile device management, for central configuration of settings like the strength of password, operating system version of mobile device, and so on. They offer mobile application management, so they have patented technology for enterprise app store. The company have own app store, and only from this app store the mobile devices could download the application. So it is a very effective way to protect mobile devices against Trojanized applications, so the applications where some cyber criminals installed or injected malware. They have Sentry. Sentry allows the restrictive and secure connection to the company applications. So when the employee is traveling, for example, when the employee wants to use the company application, can use it in a secured way. Sentry allows for the connectivity management, strong user authentication using the certificates, can be integrated with DLP, can look what data from the company network leave the network and is downloaded to the mobile devices. And also there is the solution called Access, solution that is a direct answer to the problems presented by me before. For example, how to prevent the users of Office 365 from using the personal OneDrive. We can do it using Connect, and nowadays when we look at the current world, we see that mobile is almost everywhere. Desktops becoming mobiles, new kind of notebooks are tablets in the same time. So we see two IT trends, and the security system, the security program, generally speaking, security program of the company should be compliant with the enterprise, with the business trends. First, the endpoints are going to mobile. We have more and more smartphones, more and more tablets, and the applications installed on mobile devices in most cases are cloud applications. And sometimes we are not aware that installing the application on smartphone, on tablet, this application is using cloud and sensitive data is transferred somewhere. Sometimes we do not know exactly what is the location of the data. So I will very quickly introduce what MobileIron Access can provide to our security system. First of all, we can control the applications like Salesforce, like Google applications, like Office 365, like Box. So we can implement the security policy for the users and control the access to the cloud applications. We can conduct single sign-on, so we can authenticate users, and also we have very accurate reporting and visibility. We can see what user used, how application was used, when it was used, if it was authorized or not authorized, and so on. And three main operating systems for mobiles are supported. So looking at the entire portfolio in every company that use the mobile devices, and I think that most of companies are using this, the required element to enforce the security policy for mobile world and to efficiently manage the risks related to mobile devices, first component should control the mobile access to the company IT systems. The second component, that is also very natural, should control the communication from the mobile devices to the cloud. Because as I said many times during this presentation, many applications on mobile are cloud applications, and there is no, let's say, road back. The world is going to cloud. From the security point of view, it is not optimistic, but it is the reality. And to properly manage the risks related to cloud, we should have the safeguards that control such communication. If we have some traditional endpoints, we need the second management system to control, of course, the communication from the traditional endpoints to the cloud. The idea of the future is to have one unified system. At the moment, if your company is using on endpoints Windows 10, we could use MobileIron management system for endpoints and smartphones and tablets. So all endpoints and all mobile devices could be managed using one central management system. And this central management system provides all fundamental security features. So the mobile device management, also endpoint device management, content device management. It's integrated with DLP or can be integrated if your security strategy requires using DLP in your company. enterprise app store to limit the applications only to the applications that has the business justification in the company. Okay, that's all that I wanted to present you in this short lecture. To summarize, when we are considering to use appropriate strategy for mobile risk management, we could use the standard. We could use the risk management methodology used for many years. I mean ISO 27005. We could look at confidentiality risks, availability, integrity risks, but we should also have in our mind that GDPR are very close to us. In May next year, we will need also look at privacy risks, and there is another standard, ISO 29134, very fresh one, that could be used for managing or used as the framework for the risk management related to privacy. When we look at mobile devices, be aware that two very strong factors that influence the risk. First, it is the attack surface that is very huge because we have a lot of communication methods, from SD card to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GSM, and other communication methods, near-field communication that is available on mobiles. And most of the applications installed on mobile devices are cloud applications. And there are a lot of new risks that should be analyzed in risk or included in the risk management methodology of our company. That's all from my side. Thank you very much for staying with me. Thank you.